Well, you lot, I don't know whether I've touched on this in the past or not. This is a Honda Camino. It turns out it's manufactured in 1982. So it's made in 1982. It looks like the first person to actually register it was in 1998. So it came into my hands in 2003. It's, and it ran. It did run. I used to ride it around my garden at the time. It's been sat in the back of the shed now for so many years. Some of you may find this interesting. I don't know whether I've put it in a video before. It's definitely covered in cobwebs. The thing is, it's covered in. It's so misty and foggy out here today. I brought this out here, brought it out the shed. It was bone dry. I put it here this morning, around about 5 o'clock this morning, and the cobwebs were obviously already on it, but the ones that were attached to the fence weren't. So they've manifested over a few hours. The time, but they watch on. The time now is about 7:30, and it's already been attacked by the Jews. The Jews already come along and attacked it, because it's obviously very misty day, as you just saw, with all the birds and all the cobwebs here that have been out and about there. So it's that's how misty it is. But it's a two-stroke 49cc pedal. You pedal it to start it, and you can pedal it along. 4% oil you're supposed to put in it. It's got a helmet holder. There's the helmet holder. It's got, what's that, 4,448 miles on it. Goes 40 miles an hour. Probably does about 30. It was a good little moped, it was. Got it from Swifts, I think it was. Swifts motorcycles in Langdon, I believe they are. Back in 2003. There we go. Some of you may be interested in that. Nice little moped. Alright, you lot, it's gone on a little bit now. It's quite late, about 12:30. Just had a bit of lunch, so I'm going to have a quick look around, because I was gonna go out today being Saturday. I was gonna go out and try and buy some M7 bolts. Then I remembered I've got a couple of packets in here. I've got a few springs, but I've got some different bolts. So I'm wondering if I've got M7 bolts in here. These might well be M7 for all I know. They might be bigger actually. They might not be any good for doing that up. They might not be any good for that. They might be too big. We'll have to have a look. What was it? It was in there, wasn't it? There will be an action. Oh, they're too small. Too small. It must be M6. Must be M6. So I'm going to have to go and buy some M7 bolts. These are all the same size. So I'm going to go and buy some M7 bolts so I can finish off doing that leak. I've still got it all in bits. I haven't cleaned any of this off yet. But if you're watching the series on it, you know, there'll be a part 3 coming up probably midweek or end of the week. Somewhere around there when I get a bolt. I've actually got a bit of time off work coming up, so I might go and do it then. I keep standing up those clutch springs and the rat comes along and knocks them over again. I've still got this clutch down here that come from the Land Rover, but some of you may be interested to learn what the recent facts are about this. I contacted because I'm trying to get my money back from the garage that messed it up, and I explained what I did is I went to the bank, and they said, all right, yep, fair enough. They contacted the transmission shop and they told them a load of rubbish. So now I keep going backwards and forwards. So it's still ongoing. It's still ongoing. It is. You know, they they keep saying that they didn't cause any damage and the car worked when I picked it up, but I've got video evidence because you lot saw it. When I picked it up it weren't working and you lot saw the evidence. So you know, it's an ongoing. I've got a couple of different things. I've also got there's a local lawyer on the case, and he's not on the case, he's assessing the case. So if all things you know, if the bank won't help me out to get my money back and all that, I'll have to just take them to court at the end of the day. The lawyer says there's a good case there. I've showed him all the video evidence that you lot have seen. You know, it was working. I was driving around in it, wasn't I, a couple of days before, and then took it to them, picked it up, and you lot saw what happened, and you saw me take the slave cylinder out, and you lot, you know, saw the bolts that were hanging out and all that rubbish. So yeah, they've seen it as well. And then that lawyer says, well, this is ridiculous. They, you know, they didn't carry out their job properly, and they should never have given you that car back in that state that it was in. Even whether they did do it or not, they shouldn't have let you drive with it. So it's ongoing at the moment, just for those of you that may be interested. I've got this little thing going the other day. Pretty pleased with that. It goes pretty well actually. There's a few memories in there, you know, sort of childhood memories going around in that, so pretty pleased I managed to get that going again. Little mini T. Oh, we love it. We love it. It's always good when you can get something working again that was previously dead. I had to repair someone's washing machine the other day. They said to me, oh, you're supposed to be good at fixing things, aren't you? I was like, well, not really, but what is it? Washing machine that won't work. What's the matter with it? Well, it just doesn't really wash. You know, the clothes come out smelling funny. Oh, unbelievable. When I had a look at it, it's full of mould everywhere. It's full up with like old washing powder. I don't know what well, I don't know, they must use a whole bottle of washing powder or a whole box of powder or the whole tub of, I don't know what. It's full of old soap. I don't think it's ever done a maintenance wash. So all I done was scoop it all out. I should have got pictures really, but I didn't. Scooped it all out and put it on a couple of 95-degree washes, and apparently it works alright now. Scrubbed out as much of the mould as possible, and apparently it works alright now. Unbelievable what some people do. You know, less is more. Put in a little bit of powder, a little bit of washing, a little bit of soap. Just don't chuck it full. Some people are crazy. I've just sorted out the servo on this, the steering servo, because it was, you know, it's difficult to get them lined up sometimes. I just got it lined up. But there we go. It's got a new SC on it, new servo. I'm pretty pleased with it. Pretty pleased with that. That's a job well done, I reckon. Well happy. Out comes the one of the jars of nuts and bolts. I will find one that fits in there, because if I've got one here, there's no sense in going out and buying another one, is there? So this is like a behind the scenes, isn't it really? I'm doing like a behind the scenes. The videos I'm doing on this are purely and mainly doing this, but now you're seeing like a behind the scenes. It's not as easy as just magic up a bolt. Oh, there's a bolt. There we go. No, hopefully I'll better find one in there. There's plenty in there. Hopefully I can find one, even if I got to cut it down a bit. So we'll see what's in here then, shall we?